reporting remarkable developments that stressing could play a big role in fixing the water bill mess. We've been reporting for years about Chicagoans getting hosed, sometimes to the tune of tens of thousands of dollars in bad water bills. One man, Alderman Gilbert Villegas, almost singularly has taken up the charge to try to fix the problem, the macro problem that lies within the city. He told me for years, archaic technology, systems play a major role, and departments are simply siloed. Alderman Villegas joins us now with a big announcement about a big investment. Alderman, welcome to the stream.
Thank you, Brad. Good morning. Good morning.
What is in the works, and what is a time frame for a fix? And I don't mean an all-purpose fix. This is not a Band-Aid, but kind of give me the 30-second sell on it.
Absolutely. So we were successful in separating the IT out of a department that was housed in a department that, quite frankly, IT should have never been there. So we got it separated from the budget. And on top of that, what we've done is we're putting together a task force, an IT task force made up of subject matter experts of all technology. So that way we can begin to talk about what are other cities, states, and countries doing around delivering services more efficiently and quite frankly, in a quick manner.
Yeah, I mean, that says a lot about how bad it is right now. One question is, how bad is it? I mean, one thing that I know is that the departments don't talk to each other. The Department of Finance doesn't talk with the Department of Water Management. Are they on different operating systems? I mean, so many levels within the city, it's like the right hand doesn't know what the left hand is doing. I don't hear this as much at the county level. I don't hear it with other cities. Is that in essence what you're finding?
Yes, and so the Department of the Comptroller's Office bills about $1.4 billion for water, and the problem is that the system that they currently have has been in place for 20 years, and so as we've made improvements or made suggestions via legislation in order to make sure that we're taking into consideration those folks that are having water bill issues, the program the software has just not been able to keep up, and so they've continued to put bandages on this program. And so what we need to do is, or what we're going to do, finally, is that we're going to have a focus on three departments. Department of Finance, which includes the Comptroller's Office, Human Resources, as well as Procurement. Those are the three departments that are very important in making sure that we're receiving payments and also distributing payments out. Because you can imagine, we're also paying vendors in a slow way as well. And so we want to make sure that through technology, we can pay vendors that are doing work with us and not put them in a position where they're having to get lines of credit in order to make their payroll.
Exactly. You've been talking for months or years the need for these upgrades. What took so long? I mean, we even talked a year ago. You had the plan in place. You had the study in place that said how flawed it was. Is it because it's a new administration? Because we first talked about this long ago, mid-Lightfoot administration, and now this thing seems to be moving, kind of rocketing forward. You've already had hearings on it at City Hall. Mayor Brandon Johnson announces this effort with you now. Is it because we have a new mayor?
Yeah, it's definitely because we have a new administration, and I've talked to my colleagues, and because of those hearings that we've had twice around IT, they're bought in as well. Because the reality is that the reason why I'm so laser focused is because we got to get things done quicker for the residents, but also for businesses. So that way we can create revenue quicker. We can create jobs quicker. Listen, I cannot in good conscience support new revenue or asking for property taxes when I know that there's hundreds of millions of dollars in savings that we can utilize through upgrading our IT. And so I've talked to my colleagues about this. I've talked to the administration about this. And so this is a perfect time. The Lightfoot administration, because they had housed the IT department in another department, didn't want to, just announce that it was a failure. So they just doubled down on it. And now that we have a new administration and a bunch of my colleagues that understand what we're trying to accomplish through the IT modernization, the administration's bought in. And so we're going to move forward together to collaborate, to figure out how we can get, again, services done quicker for residents, businesses up and running quicker, in turn creating revenue that the city needs.
Yeah, it's hundreds of millions of dollars it's going to cost to do it, but in the end, if you do the math, it's going to be a net savings. So, we had a story just 2 days ago about a guy overbilled $5,000. The city admits it, admits they biffed it, yet they won't refund him his money unless he gets every physical check, front and back, for the last 50 plus bills. I mean, who uses checks anymore? Will something like this help him, or is this a whole other issue, just more about some common sense changes?
No. The IT upgrades are going to help deal with this issue.
Okay.
$1.4 billion is what the comptroller's office bills on an annual basis and collects. One of the things that we found out, Brad, this is interesting. So the old cliche, what's 100%? Death and taxes? You can add water bill to that too, because when we sell bonds in order to do upgrades for the city, in that bond language, it says that 100% of what's used has to be billed for, regardless if there's an error. Wow. And so this is where we found, where when we did the hearings on the water billing, we saw that the comptroller, these outrageous bills are, number one, because of the IT, but number two, because the comptroller doesn't have any flexibility to take into consideration an error. And so they have to collect whatever, per the bond language, they have to collect whatever's being used. And so what we're going to do is we're looking to work with the bond lawyers to figure out how to allow for some flexibility for the comptroller to take into consideration these bills that are billed in error, which account for less than 1%. They account for 0.57% of the bill. So if bondholders are not happy with receiving 99.5% of their investment, I mean, Jesus Christ. Yeah,
it is remarkable, and remarkable. Basically, saying it's made to be wrong almost by bylaw. Fascinating, your findings. We appreciate your work, Alderman Gilbert Villegas. Truly advocating for this issue. We appreciate it. We'll talk again soon, and congratulations on a major step forward.
No, thank you, and thank you for your continued advocacy for residents of Chicago as well. I tell my staff, when we find an error, Brad and CBS sends us stuff, let's work to get this thing done. There's no reason why people should be paying over bills in error. That can't happen. We're not here for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Alderman. Have a good weekend.
Thank you. You too.